So a bunch of people just cheered while we were eating. Raven, what do you think it was that they were doing?
I said either they just saw something cool or the Shark Tank just broke.
So we made it downtown. We're currently humping our way over to the Shedd Aquarium, our first stop while we're in downtown Chicago.
Like the sunshine brings the light, fill me up with a flame. I will let you in this game, take me up when I'm down, 'cause with you I'm saving some. Let me feel I'm all yours. I just wanna hold you close again.
So we're waiting in line to go into the Shedd Aquarium right now. Raven, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bored are you?
Crab people, crab people. Jellies!
So behind me is a seahorse made completely out of plastic. It's named Stella the Seahorse, and it was made by a non-profit to try and bring awareness to the amount of plastic that we dump in the ocean each year. Okay, so we're making our way over to the sea otter exhibit, but first we're going to take a look at some penguins and some beluga whales and some dolphins.
Like the dolphins, the belugas, the penguins, they all live in the same temperature of water, which is about 50 degrees Fahrenheit.
I think we're getting close to the otters. So my favorite thing about these guys is when they sleep in the wild, the whole colony sleeps together on one big pile and they all hold hands so none of them accidentally float out to sea while they're asleep. My favorite thing about them. So we're headed over to the Stingray Touch right now.
That
So we just finished petting the stingrays. That was super fun. I knew they were really docile creatures, but I didn't realize like how smooth and skittish they were.
That was slimy. It was slimy feel.
Yeah, and it was neat because, you know, if you touch their flippers and they weren't expecting it, they jump a little bit, but
Splash you.
and then they'd splash you, and then they'd realize it was you, and then come back up, and you know they weren't in danger, and
They're
like,
like-
touch me more.
They're like water kittens. They're so cute.
Water kittens. Yeah, that's a good way to describe them as water kittens, more or less. All right, so we're about to go in, check out some more fish, and then we're probably gonna call it for the Shedd Aquarium. Our next stop on the list of things to do is the Field Museum. So we'll see you guys there.
Alright guys, so we made it to the Field Museum.
It's one of the best places to come when you're here in Chicago. It's the home of the Salvo man-eaters, and it was my favorite museum to go to when I was a kid.
Fill me up when you smile, like the sunshine brings the light. Fill me up with a flame. I will let you in this game.
So behind me is a replica of the T-Rex zoo. When I came here as a kid, they had just finished transporting the fossils to the museum. Hopefully later today we'll get you down to the lower levels and show you the lab where I got to watch scientists actually clean the fossils. So this is the Ancient Egypt exhibit. This is my sister's favorite place to come when we were kids. The whole thing's set up like an ancient Egyptian tomb. So you walk into it and then you go down to a lower level. It was made famous in the 1960s because they had King Tut here for a while. So let's go check it out.
So ancient Egypt was really cool, especially seeing real mummies. But let's see if we can find the fossil lab.
So behind me is the fossil lab. This is where when I was a kid I got to watch them clean and prepare the fossils of Sioux so that they can make the replica that you guys saw in the lobby earlier today. Right now they're cleaning paddlefish sturgeon, which were dug up in the Hell's Creek Formation in North Dakota, which is one of the most famous fossil plains in America. Okay, so we've seen the replica, we've seen where the fossils were actually cleaned up. Let's go over some interesting facts about Sioux. So to start, she's 40.5 feet long, and at her hip, she's 13 feet high. So that's 2 of me and then some, and that's just up to her hip. So her head is even higher. She weighs about 3,000 pounds, which is a little bit more than a Volkswagen Beetle, and she is known to have several different injuries. First off, she had broken her ribs, and it is obvious from growths on her rib bones in the fossil records that she had broken them at some point in her life. She also has holes in her jawline where some sort of infection had eaten away at the bone. And the The last thing that we noticed in her fossil records is that she had some sort of lesion and was suffering from some sort of illness on her leg right before she died. None of these injuries were the cause of her death, or the cause of her death is actually unknown, but because she is one of the most perfectly preserved dinosaur fossils that we have of a T-Rex, we're able to see all these interesting things that we were never able to see about a T-Rex before. The other cool thing is, of only 40 complete T-Rex skeletons, she is the most complete skeleton. But with all that said, let's go to our main attraction, which is the salvo. So these are the salvo lions. They were most made famous by the movie Ghost in the Darkness, where Val Kilmer plays Army Engineer J.H. Patterson. But there's a whole lot more to the story than what the movie portrays. The 1890s was a period in time where several European nations were trying to grab up as much land as possible by strategically building railroads across the continent, and it was known as the Race for Africa. It was during this period of time in 1898 that the salvo lions had their 9-month reign of terror. Before J.H. Patterson was finished with them, they had halted railroad work for over 3 months and killed over 28 people. Hope you guys enjoyed this today. Tomorrow we'll be going to the Navy Pier and the older planetarium. It's super docile, but I didn't. One minute. It's only when I'm recording with you that I fumble my words up.
I make you wordless.
Speechless.
Speechless. Wordless.